At the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, I decided to hold a series of interviews in New Delhi. With my friend Aditya, I went to sit with my guests in their homes and talk while he filmed. Separate conversations with 7 inspiring women: Deepa Mehta, Supriya Dravid, Ambika Seth, Jyotika Jalani, Sonia Jahan, Ayushi Mehra, Karishma Jalani. The culmination of which I want to share with you. Each had a fierce understanding of context, fearless and led by their heart, but always mindful of their abundant intelligence. These are their fascinating journeys. Listen up. Welcome to the warmth and safety of the lighthouse. First of all, Supriya, thank you for having us in your beautiful home, which you share with your husband Arjun and your 2 children, Meera and Kabir. So, by the way, which school are they in?
They go to Vasant Valley. Kabir is in class 5 and Meera is in class 3.
Okay, class 5, he's 10.
Yes, he's 10 and Meera turns 8 tomorrow.
Beautiful. Tomorrow. So happy birthday.
Thank
to Meera. It was such a beautiful home. I was just wondering, when you moved in, and did you design it yourself?
So we mix it all up, and it's a little mashup of everything that we like.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Colors.
Yeah.
And we moved in March of 2019, and I think we got
Also a year before.
a year before COVID,
Right.
when we were all confined.
Do you remember when you came to Switzerland?
Yes, last year.
Yeah, when you saw me. Yeah. I wanted to ask you which were your favorite destinations there?
Montreux and
Montreux?
Geneva.
In Geneva?
And I think Geneva because...
Where you traveled elsewhere?
Yes, I went to Geneva first because one of my closest friends lives there. And I thought since we were so close by, I come and see another close friend, that's you.
Thank you.
And I think...
Loved having you guys.
And I think it was incredible. It was a great synergy of all my childhoods coming together with you
Right.
and my friend Neha.
Yeah.
And it was a great time.
If I remember well, CNN-IBN was the first news? No.
No, there was NDTV.
NDTV.
And then there was CNN-IBN. This was around 2007, July to 2008 when TV boom and all of that.
So you were trying to be an anchor?
I was
No.
trying to be, I think we were just trying television because it was such a great opportunity
Yes.
at the time.
Yeah.
And it was new for all of us.
Right.
And see, we're also a generation that grew up with cassettes, then CDs,
Then CDs.
then TV, then cable,
The cable, yes.
and then news channels coming in and all of that. I mean, we all spent the part of our collective childhood nostalgia is coming home from school
Yeah.
and watching Bold and Beautiful in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I remember Star
You
Wars.
know, Star
Wars, right?
And then the Oprah show. And
I didn't
you're
watch that.
And you're thinking that this is, and Neighbors from Australia. that would
What?
come.
They didn't have neighbors
We
here.
had Neighbors, we had Home and Away, and that was our childhood. And this is, say, possibly 95, 96, 97,
Yeah.
98. And 2008, there was a huge influx with TV news channels coming in.
24-hour news channels.
24-hour news channels, and I tried for about 6 months.
That's great.
And I think that when you start your career in print, it becomes very difficult to adapt to TV. At least I found it. But I went back to India Today again. At that point, I was working with the luxury magazine that they had set up called India Today Spice. And so I cut my teeth learning everything I know in journalism in India Today, then India Today Spice. And that's how I started my career.
Nice. Do you remember? Just remembering something. You remember I'd written a screenplay?
Yes.
And you were the first and last person to read it?
I'm sure.
Wait a second. Wait. And then I lost my computer?
Yes.
And I didn't have the courage to write it again?
Yes.
I thought it was quite good. What did you think?
I thought it was amazing at
Thank
that
you.
time. Yeah.
That's all you need to say.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
great. That's what friends are for, right? To encourage you to go beyond what you think you can't do. And I know that you can do it.
Thank you.
And I feel that if you think that maybe you should put your mind to it, then we'll all rally behind you to ensure that you do it.
That's very sweet. And encouraging, really.
Yeah.
Support system is essential, really. Especially if you come.
Vital.
It's vital. It's vital. You wrote a book called Cool Dark Place. 2013. You were still working at India Today?
No, what I did was I was writing the book for a very, very long time. And
When did you start?
when did I start the book?
Yeah.
I possibly would have consciously started writing in 2009.
Right.
And I wanted to sort of build the story, work on it, and just really linger on words, on the plot, and all of that. And it took some time, and about 2011 was when I sent it to my agent, the first 3 chapters. And he was David Godwin. And
David Godwin?
Yeah.
Which publishing house?
He's an agent.
He's a book agent. Okay.
And I sent it to him, and I was very particular that if he sort of takes me on, then I'll probably just focus on the book. And I met him, I sent it to him, then we met in Jaipur because he comes every year. And when he was on board, my parents were also delighted. And I was just like, I was living at home and I was writing this book. And I wrote it and I shared it with a few friends, and I kept sending it to David chapter by chapter, and eventually, start to finish, it took me a year from 2011 January till 2011 December. And post that, it was him selling it to the publishing houses, and I got an opportunity to work with Random House at the time, and with Meru Gokhale, and Meru connected me to someone called Faiza Khan, who edited the book and really, put the book on diet and gave it shape. And it was a very fat book with too many characters, everybody spilling over.
As your first draft always would.
Yeah, I think the first draft you pour everything into it. Everything. And you would probably pick up every story, your story.
The thing is to edit.
Yeah. And I probably have some of your lines in the book, like multiple, so
Right.
I think it's just years of experience that stays with you, conversations that stay with you, moments, memories. And I think Faiza just put everything into shape. And we
without removing the intentions of the book.
Yes, exactly, well put. Yeah, it's the intention, the emotion, and what the core of the book is all about was sacrosanct, and that helped a lot.
Explain a bit, if you want,
about the book.
About what compelled you, and the part which is sacrosanct to you.
I think I wrote the book because I was in a very tough place. I had my heart broken and I had a lot of free time. So I wasn't going out. And I just thought that I had all this energy, and heartbreak is a bloody waste of time, And I just felt that I need to channelize all of this into a book and figure out, I think heartbreak always make the best stories, right? In many ways. So I wrote it and I kept writing, and it was like mental gymnastics. It was also a great way to have your brain go into places it has no business going, in a very positive way. And I read something from Salman Rushdie, because where he had written that, the best way to write is wake up from bed and just sit on a computer.
Well, he can.
And he could do it, And whatever he writes is gold in that sense. I may not agree with a lot of things, but I think just the way he constructs sentences, words, metaphors, all of that. And I had the luxury to do that. I could wake up and start writing. I was single. I was living with my parents, and this was my only focus.
Yeah.
And it was incredible that
isolation, focus, room, parents, food,
everything.
Yeah.
And I think there was a great there was this author who once said, the best line that any author could ever listen to is, your lunch is ready.
Yeah,
you're not thinking about what's your next meal. You're not thinking about anything. You're just thinking of writing, consuming that MS Word, and just ensuring that you populate it with words, 10 words, 15 words, 10 sentences, whatever it is. And it's a great space to be. It's also nice because I was just so focused that, I love fashion. I've always worked in fashion. I had no greed at that time. When I was, I didn't have the urge to buy a bag or a shoe. I was only concerned about just getting my words onto that page. And it eliminated all greed and all of that. I think it's a great space to be.
Yes.
And I'm really grateful I had the time to do so, to really just focus on the craft and focus on the words.
And all this effort in editing and publishers and agents, were you incredibly happy when you got shortlisted?
Yes, I was. I was incredibly happy. It was unexpected.
The Shakti.
Yeah, and I think that in
first
many ways,
book.
I wrote the book to just get it out. I just did it out of my body. I was very grateful that I had the opportunity to publish it with Random House at the time, and I had great editors. I didn't think of anything else. I just wanted the words out. It was a book for me.
That must be gratifying, though.
And for my friends. And it was incredibly gratifying. And I didn't really care if I won anything. I was just happy that it's on the shelf. And what's even more satisfying now is my daughter is a reader. And every time she keeps saying, "Can I read your book?" I said, "Not now, maybe when you're 15 or when you're 16.
Cool
and every time she goes and she's like, "Mama, this is your book. I can't wait to read it."
What kind of fashion-related content do you think should be promoted on social media?
I think, see, there's room
Yeah.
for everything in terms of fashion content. There's room for everything. Style is personal, right? And
That is personal?
it has to be. I think. What are we doing with all these brands?
Right.
Yes, everything seems homogeneous at one point of time. But the idea with fashion is that it has to hit you at the core to make it your own, right? And it is a consumerist business at the end of the day. But see what works for you, take that and leave the rest. Keep it very simple. And we are living in a time in India right now where we have the problem of plenty. There are so many brands, so many smaller brands who are doing such great work, great price points.
I went to Kochi. Some great local brands.
Beautiful linen,
Beautiful
muslin.
linen. We've got such a dearth of...
Exactly. And I feel that at some point, when brands start off, sometimes, they have a certain price point and people say, why are they so expensive? But we have to allow them to have that point because they're designing it, they're creating the fabric, they're printing it. It's what's in their head, right, that you're eventually wearing. So I feel that I think we're living in a very exciting time. There are a lot of brands. See what works for you and go with it.
Fashion shows. I see lots of people with their individual sort of way of dressing. You must have gone to a few of these fashion weeks.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Always amazing.
What happens?
It's a lot of what you see now on social media.
Paris,
right?
Milan, etc.
And it's incredible because you see the show, you see the best of all worlds. You see an Indian designer holding a ramp.
Indian designer today, which, today that you'll consider quite is in steam. Who do you think that would be?
See, I think there are a lot of Indian designers who are amazing. I think when you look at the icons, there's Rajesh Pratap Singh, there's Raghavendra Rathore. And when you see a slightly younger brands, you'll find Ruchika Sachdeva of Borders. You have a young designer called Twinkle Hanspal who makes beautiful prints.
Okay, sure.
You have someone like Lovebirds that I wear all the time. It's become my uniform now, because it's just comfortable. There's another brand called Cord run by a couple. And I think that what makes a designer stand out? Yes, it's great design, great fabric. There's Anit Arora of Pero, where it's extremely wearable clothes that don't need to be dry cleaned. You just wash them. You don't even need to iron them. It's a blessing in a disguise. So I think there are a lot of designers who are great. I don't think there's one or two that's my favorite.
Right.
But I do feel that we have an opportunity for everyone to grow, for that matter. When you look at drapes, the new form of drapes are done by someone like Ujjwal Dubey of Antaragni. Beautiful drapes and all of that. When you see, if you want to have a little fun with your shirts, you have Anand Bhushan. So I think you have to pick and choose what works for you and adapt to it and support them because they need your support, in that sense. Because the biggest validation is having a regular person wear your clothes day in and day out.
Right.
And celebrities is one thing, but a common person who's saving to buy that garment, that is a real validation, right, for a designer.
And Indian designers abroad, are they getting their due diligence?
I think right now it's a great renaissance moment, right? There's Rahul Mishra who's doing really well globally, Sabyasachi, of course. And there's Gaurav Gupta. Everyone's doing very, very well. There's a younger brand called Papa Don't Preach by Shubhika who's doing really well globally in the LA circle. There's Jyotika Jalani of Janvi as well.
Right.
So I think everybody has their time and I think our time is now.
Yes. And so after that, now what you're doing Ajio Luxe for Reliance.
I was. After ELLE, I moved on to Reliance Brands to help them set up Ajio Luxe.
Right.
So this was peak COVID when distance selling became the norm. And we thought of setting up Ajio Luxe to accelerate online e-commerce for luxury brands. So we have all the luxury brands that Reliance had brought into India and some digitally native global brands. And then we thought we must have Indian brands into the fold as well. So Indian designers are also part of it. I did that for about 3 years. And last August, I decided to set up my own content advisory. So after using years of my experience as a journalist and then working in e-commerce, I just thought it's time for me to try, working for myself with brands that need that level of push for a visual narrative or for a content perspective, and see if I can do it. And that's essentially what I'm doing now. And I think
amazing, and congratulations for that.
Thank you.
The name?
It's just my name. It's boutique. It's small.
It's boutique. It's small for now.
Yeah.
I read once that she talked that brands should be more conscious of sustainability
Yes.
and recycling.
Yes.
Is it happening?
Well, I think when I was at ELLE, we had a program called ELLE Graduates, and we introduced the sustainability as a category for young designers to participate. And the rules and regulation was as per the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. And we worked very, very closely with, IMG Lakme Fashion Week at the time, with a gentleman called Gautam Bazirani, who really helped put together that aspect of the program. And really finding the sustainable designers who needed that push. We also partnered with UN Environment to get that sort of stamp of approval. And that took us a long way.
How did you get to the people?
It was just meeting them, convincing them that we were on the right path, and them being on board because they believed in us. And it took us about 6 months of prep to really convince them to get on board. And once they did, it was incredible. And that really amplified the designer's cause as well. And then once you have a designer, then how do you uplift them? Then we partnered with a brand called Levi's, which had, the first time I think they'd made like denim out of water.
Right.
And so we partnered with one young designer called Naushad Ali, who won ELLE Graduates, and we gave him the opportunity to partner with Levi's. So and he came from a small town called Pondicherry.
Right. Yes.
So that also elevated his game, right, to work with a global brand. And so yes, sustainability has been something that I'm very mindful of in terms of consumption patterns, because it's relevant. I have kids, we need to ensure that they follow a path. And so, yeah.
Very good. Very good. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to, I like quick fire.
Okay. Let's
So,
go.
can we? Just one word answers?
Sure.
Just one word answers. So, when you think of children, your children,
Obsession.
really?
Obsessed with them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, why am I saying really? It's so weird. Children, really? Maybe it's because I don't have any.
Well, come hang with mine.
You said children, I'm like, really? Okay, sorry. Fashion for you.
Necessity.
Necessity, huh? Like that. A book which has marked you.
He Died with a Falafel in His Hands by John Birmingham.
Explain. What's this falafel action?
I think it was just a beautiful rambling
Is that
novel.
a metaphor?
And no, it was just a rambling novel about the Australian flatmating scene, and it was autobiographical, and it was just such a great book. And I remember it because I didn't get it in India at the time. This is possibly 2003. So I'd asked my friend to photocopy it, and I still have that with me. And I think it's such a great book.
I think I might have died with falafels in my hand lots of times. Especially my days in England, yes. A film which has marked you. No, a film you could watch over and over again.
I want to think.
Please take your time.
Can't take my time for it's a quick fire. I don't know what film I've seen. We'll come back to this because I can't remember.
A dish that you would have at home every day, if you could.
Spaghetti aglio olio.
Really?
Yeah.
And a dish you could have out.
Out. I think. Sorry, I'll rephrase the question. The dish that I can have every day would be my mom's dosa.
Yes, that's it.
And I have that every day. And what I would have outside it would be spaghetti aglio olio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. A destination?
anywhere with my kids really, but the one destination that had a lot of impact on me was visiting my 81-year-old friend in Turkbuku, in just off Bodrum. And for me, that really shifted things in me, and I loved being there because it was so remote, so tiny, and
South of Turkey.
it's
No.
where's Bodrum? Bodrum is south of
South,
Turkey.
yeah.
Yeah, so south
Just
of
south.
Turkey, and it's a little hamlet. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay, a restaurant in Delhi,
Plats.
in Mavia Nagar.
Yes.
Oh, very nice. That's the same chef as Tress. The
Ex.
sous chef, yeah.
Yes.
Friends mean what to you?
My life.
Yeah, me too, because I'm an only child.
Same. Exactly. I can't exist, and I love them.
Yeah,
I love
of
them
course.
dearly, a little too much, all of them.
Yeah, but for me, I'm getting to a certain age where my friends are all moving on, getting married, and it's
But they're always there.
they're always there.
Yeah, I know. I moved on. I had babies. I was always there for you. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. But I don't know why I feel that.
You shouldn't. I think it's also because probably you go into a zone and you shouldn't allow it.
I need therapy.
Yeah. No, you don't. You just need to come home. That's it.
I need to come home, exactly.
Yeah. Play FIFA with my son. Yeah.
Really?
Exactly.
I've been playing FIFA since, I tell you, 98.
Like, come on Sunday, play FIFA. I'm just telling you. You played in December with them, didn't you?
Yeah, but I wasn't very
It was
good.
so you could.
And your son was very aggressive with
He
me.
was very aggressive.
He's like, no, I'm sorry, but this is not gonna. That's why I left the room. I'm like, I'm going now. That's why I left your party actually.
Shut up.
Yes, because of your son. He's like, you don't know how to play. I'm like, what is
You
this?
left because he supports Man City.
Yeah, but no, maybe. Yeah, passion for you.
Passion. Wow.
Whoa,
I don't know. I never thought of passion.
Waking up in the mornings.
Yeah, I would just waking up and getting to work. Yeah, work is my passion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I have for you.
Thank you for having me so much.
No, you're having me in your home.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.